Growing up in Canada, the media in Canadian sports, mainly being hockey, as that's the most popular sport here, was arguably as good as the game itself or the highlight packages that were being shown on the program. Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole of TSN, which is who I'll mostly focus on in this video, they were essentially comedians who just also happened to enjoy hockey, and they would let it rip on screen every single night.
But not every player is El Matador. That's not the music I requested. That's not mariachi music. I requested mariachi music. That sounds like Yanni. Let's just go to Lisa.
But now, the fragile sensitivities of Canadian corporations would probably invent some reason why this is problematic or this is a harmful stereotype against people that enjoy mariachi music. Here's some more funny old moments from the Jay and Dan show on TSN.
Got a question for you, Jack. How many times on Twitter did you read people saying NFL or...
Should point out, oh, look at the guy behind us pretending to work.
Oh.
What is he, trading stocks? He's trading
scribbling.
Bell stock after the purchase of MLSC. Looks like he's working very hard back
Very
there,
hard.
though. That's right, the same Adam Scott was Tiger's old caddy, Steve Williams, on his bag. On his bag.
It's kind of how the Flames are feeling right now, whatever that look is on your face.
Because you chastised me for smiling. I can't believe the Miami Heat lost again on Tuesday night. I hope they don't cry again. I hope I don't cry.
Oh, no. No, don't do it! No!
They just wanted the chance to play together. They're friends. They're friends and they wanted to play together.
Because of all their success in Canada, Jay and Dan went to work in the United States for a few years. They then returned a few years later in 2017. However, their show was not the same. Dan O'Toole was actually let go in 2021, and since then it's just Jay Onrait who continues to work for TSN. But it's not the same.
The Big Five in Toronto, if you're not familiar, rest of the country, that would be Matthews, Marner, Riley, Tavares, and who am I forgetting? Nylander. There we go. So, out of those five, Brian, who is under the most pressure?
It's nice to see that for Oilers fans where it's like there's no quit. Like it's a long road ahead. We know the task at hand for them, and there was no quit for them tonight.
The only team that might have more inconsistent goaltending than Edmonton might be New Jersey, so that helps too.
Yes.
Sens blow a 2-goal lead against the Avalanche.
And this sort of serious, rehearsed analysis about hockey is pretty much all the show is now, from what I can see. And this is not just with Jay at TSN. This is most of the segments of on the Canadian sports media at this point, like TSN, Sportsnet, and places like that. But who actually talks like this? This is why I think Canadian sports media has gotten so much worse in recent years. Nobody in real life actually talks like this rehearsed back and forth like you're reading from a teleprompter. It actually makes CNN look somewhat interesting. This super mechanical back and forth about hockey with the fake laughing about things that are obviously not funny, like, haha, New Jersey has poor goaltending, haha, or, haha, I forgot William Nylander's name. Is that really what passes for humor now? Because 10, 15 years ago, the show was way funnier. And to be honest, I'm not just trying to disparage Jay Onrait or Dan O'Toole themselves. It's just that this is what media in the sports media landscape in Canada has come to. Everybody is so scared, it seems, to say anything even remotely edgy, especially on national television. And perhaps you can't blame them. Exhibit A, Don Cherry's firing.
Cherry's message about Canadian immigrants over the weekend has him out of a job today.
You people love you that come here, whatever it is. You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple of bucks for poppies or something like that.
Don Cherry was widely condemned as racist and xenophobic, and so to this day, many Canadians still will say this for these comments that he made on that night in Hockey Night in Canada. He never worked another day on Coach's Corner or Hockey Night in Canada following this. So you can see why perhaps people like Jay Onrait and other people in Canadian media think it's best to just stick to the teleprompter or make the safest jokes possible, such as the New Jersey goaltending situation sure isn't great, hey? And I don't think you can just blame the decline in quality of Canadian sports media on social media and YouTube shows and the rise of that. It shows like, for example, Spit and Chicklets, which I'll get into in a second here. Because in America, sports media is still thriving, both on social media and on national programs such as First Take with Stephen A. Smith, The Pat McAfee Show, or Undisputed with Skip Bayless.
Stephen A., what is your sole purpose at First Take?
To do whatever you tell me to, drill sergeant.
That's a brilliant idea. You must be a damn genius. You must have an IQ of 160. Now get the First Take.
I run this show. I don't care what drill sergeant is.
Hold on, wait a minute. Jimmy Butler's all his points don't come from finishing at the basket. We've seen him hit plenty of perimeter shots. He can do that.
What does he shoot from the three? What is percentages?
Well, I'm just saying a jump shot. You trying to tell me Giannis is the same quality of jump shooter as a Jimmy Butler? You saying Jimmy Butler's that bad?
I'd have to look up Jimmy's numbers from the mid-range. I would, but Giannis shot over 42% from the mid-range this year, which is well above league average.
Oh, my God.
And Jimmy shot in the 20s and the threes from three for the last
First of all,
2
Jimmy
years.
Butler missed some time during this season.
Popular U.S. sports shows, even the ones on national television networks like ESPN, are still entertaining in 2024. And this is more, at least in my opinion, than you can say for the shows in Canada. When you actually watch those shows in America, that is how people actually talk. It sounds and feels familiar to listening to two sports fans having a friendly debate about sports in a bar. This is not the feeling you get when you watch Canadian sports media. It sounds like people reading a teleprompter full of talking points and pretending to laugh, which is, I think, why there's been a whole bunch of YouTube channels in Canada pop up that cover hockey. The channels themselves are really not anything special. I mean, they're not, no offense to them, they're good, but for the most part, just a guy talking into a mic about hockey with some B-roll playing in the background of hockey highlights or something. But at least this random guy on his YouTube channel actually sounds like a real person. Someone who will talk freely about hockey and doesn't care if he offends a particular player or team in the process. Which, as an aside, could be the part of the problem in Canadian media as well. Perhaps all these anchors on the Canadian media side have just been around for so long that they've built relationships with people on every NHL hockey team. So they'll feel some level of guilt or be hesitant a little bit about speaking freely about the problems of any particular NHL team. I've heard people in hockey media describe the hockey world as very small and that the word amongst it travels fast. But even if that is true, if people in Canadian sports media don't want to offend a particular player or particular team, I think that is a weak excuse personally. The large American shows like First Take, Undisputed, Dan Patrick Show, they don't hold back. And I'm not saying don't be fair and just go out of your way to be negative, but it's not fair, in my opinion, to the audience if you're censoring yourself so much, which I believe is happening in the Canadian media for multiple reasons. And as a result, more people will just keep turning to these YouTube channels to get their hockey analysis. And a lot of these YouTube videos have been getting pretty popular as well. And no offense, though, to anybody on YouTube, nobody I've ever watched in the hockey space is as funny or entertaining as Jay Onrait was 15 years ago. But that Jay Onrait is not on television today. So some dude in Manitoba with a microphone and some B-roll footage who will actually, though, be willing to speak their mind is, in my opinion, now more entertaining to watch because at least they talk like someone that you'd recognize in real life, more so than you can say for someone who works in these big Canadian media companies right now who seemingly are just reading a teleprompter or reading out talking points. So with that said, thank you for watching my video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Perhaps like me, you remember growing up watching that Jay and Dan show on TSN and think that that was much better than what is on right now. If you do, let me know that you agree or whatever. But thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Beat Sergei Bobrovsky. You're a loose cannon, Bobrovsky. You're off the case.